Hello, good evening, and welcome. My name is Mike Moritz, and the name of this video is Revisiting and Reviewing the Eurovision Song Contest 2025. This video is a sequel. About 11 months ago, I did a first impressions review and stack ranking of the 37 entries in the contest. It inspired a series that I quite enjoy making. I've since reviewed 2024, 2023, and 1956, and I even looked at the Intervision Song Contest 2025. But my Eurovision 25 video kind of sticks in my craw a bit. It's unscripted, it kind of looks a bit different, and more importantly, when I re-listen to the contest now, my opinions on some songs have changed. So, it's April 2026. As Eurovision season is ramping up, let's revisit last year's contest, shake the tree, and see what falls out. Now, what you can expect here is my personal rankings of the 37 songs from my least favourite to my most favourite. I know that says 36. We'll get to it. Now, because the songs are so varied, the way I describe it is how much I'm going to recommend that you listen to a song were you to ask for my recommendations. Taste is a factor here, as is technical quality and stage performance. But I'm more likely to recommend a bad song that entertains me than a good song that I find boring. Now, I give the top 10 songs, I give points in line with the Eurovision scoring system. 12, 10, 8 through 1. The points don't matter, but it amuses me and it lets me track what countries really speak to me and which parts I liked from which decades. Now, Australia does compete, but because the Eurovision rules say that you can't vote for your own country, I take them out of the rankings and I place them where they would be relative to the other songs, but if they're in the top 10, they don't get points. This is why I say that I rank the 36 songs rather than the 37. Anyway, because I am re-ranking here, the format will be a little bit different. Rather than taking our time and discussing each song on its own, I've lumped them together in groups and we'll be discussing them more as a sort of a bracketed set of trends. If you've not seen my original video, you'll still get my thoughts on each song here, but it'll be a bit more succinct. I'll also indicate how much and where songs have moved since last year, and explaining why. If you see a yellow bar, it means that the song is in the same position it was in my original rankings. If it's red, it means that it has dropped since last year, and if it's green, it means it's risen since last year. Alright? Cool. I think that's fairly clear. Part 1. The bad. Now, there are two songs I consider to be bad this year, and neither of them are for matters of, quality. Slovenia's entry should be a melancholic musing on the impermanence of life. But when Clement brings his healthy wife out on stage while singing about how sad it is that they don't have time, rather than celebrating how much time that they do have, I'm left emotionally confused and convinced that he wrote the song before her recovery and then decided to sing it anyway just 'cause he had the song. Ireland, apparently committed to never hosting again, sent a party song about a dead dog. Now, Emmy's claims that Laika saved the world, she didn't, and wasn't afraid, she was, disrespects the memories of one of the goodest girls in scientific history, all in service of, oh, wouldn't it be great if the dog that died alone, afraid and thousands of miles from another soul, didn't. Part 2. There's nothing wrong with these songs, but they don't grab me. At 34, we have Georgia, big and anthemic, but ultimately underwhelming, save by her staging and her deft use of a prophecy rock. Cyprus's Shh is an odd piece, asking us for silence and confidence, while presenting one of the most frenetic club bangers of the year, and the least enjoyable club banger, musically at least, of the year. For my ears at least. Now, Montenegro, their entry purports to be empowering and seems to be an anthem for merely surviving rather than striking out on your own blah blah blah. The staging is unimpressive and the costume reveal feels like it's going the wrong way. Norway's message of self-reliance feels really poorly conceived to me. I'm not sure how being your own lighter is a positive message unless you're intending to set things on fire. Look, if you have to explain your metaphor at press conferences, you could maybe do another pass on the lyrics. Undo my sad is bad English, but at least we understood what Sweden was singing about in 2014. Serbia's Mila is a perfectly adequate Balkan ballad, capable of much better, and it feels phoned in to me. Lithuania and Armenia, they've dropped 2 positions through no fault of their own, but rather me coming to like other songs more. Tavoakis from 27 to 29. I didn't really review this one last year. I just made some jokes about the lyrics. Okay, it's a dark bit of like moody shoegaze. It's high on atmosphere. They all look like they're cult members. It's not really a highly rated listen for me. Also, why can he only cry in my dreams? I still haven't received an answer. Survivor, dropping 2 places to 28, is full force. It's big and it's intense. And while I'm a survivor, stay alive is a catchy hook, there is nothing here to entice my return. Part 3. I don't like these songs as much anymore. Now, as it happens, 3 songs dropped a big way in my rankings, and they all ended up right next to each other. So Denmark's Hallucination, it was never one of my tops. It's dropped 2 positions by sheer virtue of maintaining that middle-of-the-road energy. Malta's Serving, dropping from 19 to 26. And look, if I remember correctly, it was originally going to be like 11 or something like that. But as I listened to it over the week between when I started writing the video and when I made the video, it dropped to 19, and now it's dropped even lower. Serving is like it's an attempt to bring ballroom or like drag energy to the Eurovision stage. But this is another one that I find it's got full force energy and it's exhausting to me. The joke of serving can't, where can't means singing in Maltese, is very tee-hee in the drag scene. But let me tell you, there's a reason I only watch 1 episode of Drag Race at a time. Also, I'm also just going to tell you here, if I wanted to watch a good song that'd be good for the Drag Race stage, it would be I Am from 2022. Poland with Gaia drops 14 points from 11 on my list last year. Look, last year I was impressed by its drama and feminine fire, but all that righteous fury doesn't really seem to be directed anywhere. It's big and bombastic to be big and bombastic, and also she's riding a dragon. Like, it's a big stage show with a big ending, but like, what's impressed me when it was new has now dimmed greatly and does not inspire a re-listen. Let's breathe for a moment. Have a drink. Now, since I started this show, and between then and now, I wanted to talk about the handbags. Now, the handbags are, in this context, the performances and songs that aren't part of the competition, but they augment the show. And the reason for this is I want to talk about like Rainmaker in 2014, or Riverdance in 1994, or Heaven's Not for Saints in 1996. You know, showcases of talent or fun bits of vaudeville while the votes are cast. Sometimes it is a comedy piece, like 2016's Love, Love, Peace, Peace. Or sometimes it's treated like the most important and serious thing on the card, like 2012's Never Enough. So here, I'm placing Made in Switzerland from semi-final 1. It's fun and catchy. Hazel gets the best lines, such as her consistent hate-on for Roger Federer, and happily saying that LSD was made here. I don't understand what the phrase "doesn't matter if you're good or brutal" means, because Eurovision is not political. Look, the piece drags in the middle for me, with the whole William Tell digression. It's nice to see Petra Mede. How do you pronounce her name? Petra Mede? Petra. It's nice to see Petra here. But look, let me tell you, it pulls the drag chute on the energy of the song, and it never recovers. The first 2 minutes, though, go toe-to-toe with 2013 Swedish Smorgasbord, though. Part 4. This part of our evening's entertainment is for the songs that I think are perfectly good songs. That's all capitalized. But by virtue of stack ranking, end up in the middle through no fault of their own. So Kiss Kiss Goodbye from Czechia rises from 29th to 24th on our list this year. I massively underrated this piece at the time. I maintain that the break into the funky bridge is incongruous and also the best part of the song. But the rest of it's pretty solid too. That hook is a solid earworm. 23, New Day Will Rise, remains the best Israeli entry since Set Me Free in 2021, and it definitely avoids the tonal issues I've outlined in other episodes that Israeli entries have had for me. It plants its feet in being a soaring anthemic belter, and it succeeds as being a soaring anthemic belter. C'est la vie feels like a safe entry from the Netherlands. The lyrics are a little formulaic, but the tune is a nifty little toe tapper. Run With You, I feel, is trying to chase the fun energy that I adored from Azerbaijan in 2023 with Tell Me More, but apparently no one else liked that one. Not sure what's going on there. It's a funky little tune with a weak performance, but fun. All three of those songs raise 1 point because of serving dropping hard below them. At 20, Wasted Love is the kind of technical showcase that the juries absolutely adore. JJ's voice is amazing, but I hate that kind of opera fusion. It's here at 20 because of the kick-ass techno drop at the end. Maman is classic French ballad territory, and I don't know if this qualifies as chanson or nouvelle chanson or whatever. I think the chorus is a bit naff, the Maman bit, but the pre-chorus before that is brilliant with a really good melody. Both of these elevate into the Maltese gap, but my opinions on these have not really changed. 18 brings us Portugal's Deslacado, which I'm told blew up on socials last year, but for me remains unmoved after a year. Solid Portuguese soft rock, but what works for me with Portuguese entries is the emotional talk. For instance, I don't know, Grito from 2024, or Amar pelos dois from 2017. Those tracks have more going on to it, more emotionality than Deslacado does for me. 17 remains the province of Greece with Claudia's beautiful Asteromata, the kind of soaring Greek ballad that I was convinced that they'd sent before, but it turns out apparently they haven't, at least not as long as I've been a fan. Bonus points for use of prophecy rock. And finally, Bird of Prey. Bird of Prey? He says pre. He does sing Bird of Prey. Bird of Prey drops from 15 to 16. Single point. I like parts of this one. It's got an ethereal vocal. The main hook. I like the rocky elements, but the rocky elements don't work with the other parts that I like. It's a bit consistent, tonally speaking. Its descent here is on that basis because I have found there to be more enjoyable and consistent listening experiences for me on this list. Part 5. Great songs, but not top 10. This section comprises songs that I'm likely to put on just to listen to that song. Even if I'm not listening to a playlist, I'll put this one on just to kind of soak myself in them. So Strobe Lights drops from 10th to 15th here. I love dark atmospheric club music, and this is definitely that. It's just, I'm not usually seeking this out to listen to. It is, however, perfect mood music. Dark, little sexy, little ominous. I do like this, and they were robbed, but it's not pop. This is the same problem I've got with 14, San Marino, Tutta l'Italia. A better song, 'tis true. Catchy hook, good dynamics, and I am a sucker for Italo dance, but it's a sometimes food for me. And at 13, we have The Ultimate Redemption for the UK, raising from 28th, 15 points to 13th. It's still a structural mess and has all the hallmarks of a longer song that was truncated down. And unlike, long form epics that would cut down, Money for Nothing or Who Are You, that managed to still work in a shorter form, the whiplash hurts this one in the edit. If there is an edit, I don't know if there was. I do, however, love the bonkers Queen energy, and I'm finally able to approach it on its own terms, and it gave us a perfect meme format in the title. This song's a blast. At 12, I think what helped Italy's rise here from the 16th position was having enough time and distance from the stage performance. I hate Lucio's makeup, and the staging sucks. Also, why does he get hard-coded subtitles? he's allowed to have hard-coded subtitles on the stream, on the video, but Constructor in 2022 isn't allowed. She only gets subtitles at the end of her song. This is pro-Italian favoritism or anti-Serbian anti-favoritism. What was I talking about? Right. Look, it's a snatch of early 70s soft rock throwback. It's smoothly produced, and I like how it sounds. At 11, we have Spain, rising one place from last year. If this series has taught me anything, it is a quiet appreciation for the consistent quality that Spain brings to the contest. Even their most embarrassing moment was because of the performer hitting one bum note. Not that there's anything wrong with that song. We'll get to 2017 eventually. Essa Diva is perhaps less fun than 2024's Thora, but it's catchy and danceable, and it's just another high-quality entry from a powerhouse that doesn't get its flowers enough. Part 6. Number 10 through 6. I think I actually cut out my... This should probably be... Did I? I did cut out the Part 7 slide. Part 6, part numbers 10 through 1. Rising into 10th place and stealing 1 point from Belgium is Germany's viral club dance banger Balla. Right? The harshness of the club piece has smoothed over the ear for me, and little touches to the Eurovision version are nice and lush. That intro opening on the cello, very nice. I love Tina's vocals. The flow is excellent. And it's, a damn shame since it's been over a decade since our last German language song, which, as I recall correctly, is Woki mit dem Popo. Just saying. The full English language version that they released in the aftermath has all the worst parts of the translation from Deutsch to English that afflicts like every German song they try and translate. The original, but specifically the Eurovision mix, is one of the best dance tracks of the year. Dropping 1 place into 9th, we have the divisive Poison Cake. I maintain that Croatia's quality in the 20s has been on par with Finland's blistering turn. And the biggest robbery of the decade was TikTok not surviving the bloodbath of the 2021 semis. Now, I know many people who placed Poison Cake at the bottom of their lists. But, I love this stupid bit of pantomime. It's a little witchy, not the most witchy, we'll get to it. But switching things up enough with, a little bit of silliness to avoid dragging. To put it in context, I think Balla is a better song, but I think Poison Cake is more fun to listen to. Interlude 2. Let's have another break. I needed some more water. Alright. 2 handbags in the show. Let's talk about Eurodab. Now, the complicated and convoluted lead-up to getting 2024's Baby Lasagna and 2023's Karia to share the stage as, quote, the winners of our hearts, complete with a shout-out to Joost Klein as their Europapa, is completely irrelevant here, as Eurovision is not political. I should get that as a stamp on the slideshow. Now, were I reviewing this song just as Eurodab, this would be much lower. But in the final and on YouTube, it is coupled with a glorious live mashup of Rim Tim Tagidim and Cha Cha Cha. Now, those songs are, respectively, my number 4 and number 1 songs of the past 4 contests that I have reviewed, 2025 inclusive. So this is just delightful. The 2 singers are energetic and charismatic, and the songs are bona fide classics. The mashup really works together, and Eurodab works as a coda to that. It is a weaker song overall, but that's not what we were given on stage. Now, if there is one song that I needed to revisit 2025 for, it is my new number 8, rising from 13, which is Switzerland's Voyage. And I don't know what I was thinking. Why did I not have this in my top 10 last year? Because if you listen, you can literally hear me cry on the video when I'm talking about it. Now, I'm coming at this from 1956, and I feel like I have a better appreciation for popular chanson. And honestly, with the sweetly swelling strings and the gentle French vocals, this could easily fit in the early days of the contest. I think the finest musical moment is not like in the contest, possibly the decade, is the bridge, which rises in increasing tension and anxiety as they is it a cant or is it a tilt? It's something. They shift the camera to the side swiftly, and it gets more anxious and more tense before breaking through the grey clouds into the warm sunlight of the best reprise of the year. It's so good. Marvelous moment. And from here, my rankings don't really change since last year, so we can just expedite through the back end, or the front end, as it were. Milkshake Man would be number 8 if I were ranking my own country. Arguably the silliest entry we've sent, a fun bit of nonsense, hurt by muting the crowd mics in the semis. 7 is the best Minecraft-themed sea shanty ever sent by Iceland. Maybe I'm overly narrowing the scope there, but Roa does never fail to make me smile. And at 6, we have the best damn song Albania has sent in the near 20 years I've been a fan. Germ is so damn good. It has never left a playlist in my household in the past year. So, part 7, the top 5. 5 is Finland's Ich Komme, a Teutonic force of feminine sexuality that wouldn't settle for being anywhere other than the top. Espresso Macchiato at 4 is the joke song that I kept expecting to drop in its placing, but it holds by just being fun and catchy, even if I keep mishearing a lyric in the line, I just wanna slit my ristorante. I mean, you make it what you it sounds bad to me. Sweden at 3 is having the most fun I can ever remember them having, an attribution I throw in to them being Finns in this ode to sauna culture that single-handedly changed how I say the word sauna. At 2, the latest in a chain of neo-pagan songs started with Shum in 2021, through Fulen 22, Stay in 23, and Doomsday Blue in 24. Latvia's entry this year combines the blessing and cursing energies of those latter two with folk singing and literal ancient Latvian spells, if you believe the band, for a real transcendent piece of music. And 2 points still to Luxembourg, whose 1956 entries I adored, placing it 2 and 5 in my rankings. Here with Laura Thorne's reply to the Serge Gainsbourg penned Papier de Cire, Papier de Sang from 1965. You know, the more I read about how Franz Gall was treated and her falling out with the song that brought her to the world and the man who wrote it, I see this one as a vindication of her, giving her a platform to cut her strings and turn up her sound 60 years later. Like, seeing the YouTube comments on the original nowadays, loving it, and its modern day response, I think Laura Thorne is to be praised for masterfully rewriting the book for the doll. And, what else can I say about this performance that I didn't say in the original? It's just so good. Even her blinking is good. Her blinking! Watch her blinking. It's really good. Anyway, let's race through the rankings. Now with 3 other contests ranked, and we've got a bit more contests. Starting solely with the 3 contests in the 2020s, Voyage makes it onto the top 26 songs, being by far the best entry I've reviewed, and I was a fool for thinking that the code was better. I do have on this list 3 Finnish songs, 2 Croatian songs, 2 Luxembourgish songs. We need to get rid of some of these double ups, okay? So if each country only gets their best song, a few more changes here. Voyage slips up into 15th place, Bala rises before Carpe Diem, and Voleva Essere Enduro rises above Strobe Lights. There, now looking at the points, slight shuffle around here. Croatia down 1 point to 19. Now that I've actually fixed that error from the 2023 video. I messed that up in case you missed the 56 video. Germany and Switzerland enter the fray, and Belgium and San Marino slip off the board because of having worse averages than Italy, France, and Ukraine. Romania's single placing in number 14 on my 2023 list gets at the best average position. And in case you're curious, the lowest ranking on this list is Georgia. Now, if we include the 1956 video, 50s rock and roll beats, denim trans allegory, or whatever the hell No Rules is about. As God intended. seriously, So Get Das Jede Nacht is a fun blast of swinging rock and roll, and yeah, that's great. And at 26, we have Michel Arnaud telling pretty boys to be productive before they get old and fat. Now, if we go to the one country per slide, the only change from here is that So Get Das Jede Nacht relegates Baller off the board. Volver ese Enduro is now replacing Aprit la Finestra, and Voyage is up there, displacing the old Carousel. And Elela pushes Strobe Lights off the board. Going to the points, a few changes here. Luxembourg manages to get back into second place with 23 points. Here, Croatia in third. Germany left sides the board, along with the Netherlands. Re-ranking means that San Marino loses its points. And, unlike I said in the last video, we have not yet lost sight of all the points, because Romania there, again, with that sole 14 placing it as the best non-point getter. And in case you're curious, the lowest is still Georgia. The Australian songs haven't changed. This slide is meaningless until the 2026 video. Promise, still one of the best songs that we've sent. And then The Fun of Milkshake Man and One Milkali. It's not a bad song, but it's just not as good as Milkshake Man. And the bottom 10 have not changed because, going from the bottom, I Hate Opera, The Drugs Aren't Mine, Sleepwalking Through Reality is Valid for Some People, Prophecy Rocks Aren't Savior Rocks, You Want to See Me Dance, The Dog Dying is Apparently Happening, Thing is Known, Your Wife Not Dying is Apparently Sad, Blanca's Grandmother is a Servant of the God Machine, and Zari Still Sucks. So what is the take home from all this? I don't know. Look, my takes aren't gospel. It's one guy listening to music and just responding to it. I can't turn around and say this stuff is locked in. Who knows? 5 years from now, Tavo Arkis might be at 15 and Serving might be so obnoxious it sinks to 36. However, this is how I feel about the songs now, a year out from the contest. And we've got a brand new contest coming up. But that's like a month and a half away from us now. So, the question is, where do I go from here? I mean, 2022 is right there, and it's a banger of a year with 2021 behind it, but I don't know. After doing 1956, I kind of feel free. We don't have to do another year with Finnish and Croatian bangers. But the question is, where do we go next? Do we go 1980 for Morocco? 1994 for Riverdance? Do we rip the Band-Aid off and do ABBA in 74? No. I think the path before me is clear. My 12 points this year were for Luxembourg. The first sequel song to a contest entry. And that's only because Think About Things was in 2020 and they didn't actually hold a contest this year. Look, it's arbitrary and I'm justifying it here. 60 years before the doll turned up the sound, a different doll blew up the contest with pop music. Or so I'm told. I haven't listened to that contest. Next episode, Naples 1965. And we watch as Serge Gainsbourg writes a really weird song about his daughter. Wait, no, that was the 80s. That's different weird Serge Gainsbourg. Look, we're going to 65 next time. I know nothing about this contest. Hopefully it's good. Until then, my name's Mike Moritz. Good night and take care.